Hey everyone, my name's Chris Thornton and this is my week 5 assignment video for the Introduction to Music Production course run by Berklee College of Music on Coursera.org. This week I'm going to demonstrate how to configure an EQ plugin to function like a large format mixing console EQ, and I'm going to be doing that in Reaper. So I've already got Reaper loaded up here and I've got a small sample here which we're going to be working on in a minute. You can hear there's already a little bit of reverb loaded on that. I'm not going to be dealing with that in this lesson though. If you click the FX button just there, that's loaded the reverb plugin which I've already got. What you want to do though, if you're dealing with the EQ, is go down here, click on Add, and if you click on Cocos, they have a lovely EQ plugin called Re-EQ. If you click there, and when you load it up the first time, it should look like this. And you see there's a series of points on here which you can configure. I'm going to use the exact same settings as Landon did in the video. So the first one was a high pass, and that was at 75 Hertz. You can use this frequency slider, or you can just type the number in there. I'm just going to type it in. So there we go, 75 Hertz. A limitation of this is you can't change the gradient of the slope. So you can't specify how many decibels per octave that slopes by. But that's a minor quibble. There are a couple of useful features which this does have, which kind of offset that. So choose which one works best for you. But I find this is quite a powerful plugin. The next one was a low shelf. And that was set to 80 Hertz. Again, very simple, very straightforward to set these up. The next couple, 3 and 4, they were both... I believe in the plugin Loudon was using, it specified them as bell filters. This particular plugin refers to them as band filters, but if I turn up the gain a little bit, you see that it's basically a bell curve, hence the name bell filter. So we'll have a lower frequency one. Of course, we can set this to any frequency we want, but we'll use that to deal with the lower frequencies. 300 to whatever it is up here, and then we'll have number 4 doing exactly the same thing. You can go for band alts or band alt 2. Those are just alternative, slightly different shape filters. Doesn't make much of a difference. So there we go. I'll have that one with a negative gain. Same sort of thing. The bandwidth slider here changes how wide that is. You can have it as a very narrow filter or quite a wide one. Finally, we need a 5th point, so you go down to the Add Band button here, click on that, and the last thing that we need is a high shelf. There we go, that was 12,000, and let's make that a little bit lower. So there we go, we've set up an EQ, and if we want to save that, if you go to the plus button here, like with all the presets in Reaper, if you go to the plus button there, you go to Save Preset, you can give it a name, and it'll appear down the bottom here, like these ones which I've already set up. You can see I've already been playing about with this. Now, the useful features of this particular plugin. Firstly, you're not just limited to clicking on these different tabs and then sliding that frequency around. You can actually grab hold of them and move them around in here. So that's really useful, and it'll automatically select the correct tab for you, so you can change the bandwidth and everything. But that's the best way to do it, really, I find. It's much more intuitive, it's much quicker and much simpler. So let's have a listen to what sort of effect that's having, and that'll show you, there you go, the other useful effect, which is that you've got a spectrum analysis going on here. The sort of fainter grey line, that's the original signal, and the yellow line, that is your process signal. So if we whack this one up really high, you can see that we've got, at these particular frequencies, we've got it amplified, whereas if we were to whack it down, you can see that it gets much lower. Okay, so maybe we've got a lot of bass in the mix and we want the piano to appear quite bright, in which case you'd set it up something like this, or alternatively, let's say it's playing alongside a violin. Violin's quite high pitched, so you might want it much more low pitched. There you go, and you can hear the effect that that's having. So, a very simple, very quick thing to set up. I hope that was instructive to any of the rest of you who are using Reaper. My name's Chris Thornton, and best of luck with your assignments as well.